bothers me.
In Antioch, Tennessee, I'm Kristen Holmes.
And welcome back. I'm Armstrong. You know, Mark Gwynn is the director of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. We're so fortunate that he just happens to be in Washington, D.C. tonight. Talk to us about Antioch. What is it that you know that you can update us on?
Well, you know, obviously it's an ongoing investigation, and pretty much what you've seen from the media. You know, we had a young man to enter that church, saw a lady going to her car on the way in, shot her, killed her, went inside the church, began shooting, and wounded multiple people. Just a sad day in our state. We're still trying to figure it out, gather the facts, and put it all together.
You know, I'm going to say this to Clarence Cox, who's Noble President. I know you're not going to like this, but I'm going to say it. I watched CNN, I watched the networks, I watched ABC, and I remember Dylann Roof in Charleston and that terrorist attack. All it was about this white boy going in. It's all about race, killing black people.
Well, what else could it be about?
Well, this guy who happens to be black goes into a church and kill people, and you barely know he's black.
And why? You can't compare him to Dylann Roof.
I'm not talking
and
right
race
now.
Does matter.
Killing, going into church is a church. I'm talking about why does it make so much out of the fact that somebody's race when they're white, but barely mention the media when they're black? That's what I'm asking. I think it's a fair question. Don't get upset. It's a fair question.
I'm not upset. I just want fair time on the race issue.
Go ahead. I want to ask that. Why?
I think it's a fair question, but I think the emphasis should be placed on the fact that hate crimes are
I
increasing.
agree, but the media doesn't do that depending on who's committing the crime.
Well, you know, the media writes these narratives, and that's not warm and sexy to talk about the black guy that killed because, you know, that's just not what they're trying to portray. If you look at the direction that we're going in, it seems as if we're trying to split America in two different segments, and we're all created equal and we should be treated the same. And that's what we obviously try to do as law enforcement, you know, administer justice in a fair and equitable manner across the board. To Director Gwynn and myself, it doesn't matter the race, creed, or color of the person who perpetrated the crime. A crime was committed, and we're focused more on the fact that we come up with a way to prevent these hate crimes, and especially in our house of worship. You know, that's more than a notion.
Shelby?
I'm not a fan of hate crimes, period, as laws. I think it's ridiculous. I don't care if you killed me because I'm a woman, because I'm black, because I'm 5'4", have green eyes. You killed me. I think this is part of the reason why we're at the place where we're at, is we are all so much more focused on the physical reasons you've killed somebody, because you've walked into a church, because the person's black, because the person's white, and not the fact that you've just murdered a human being. And I think if we get past that a little bit more and just start having a little more humility and humanity for one another, we'd be better off. But I think you're completely right. I think the president, I think a lot of people in society are feeding into this self-proclaimed victim status and this idea that things are probably 10 times worse than they really are, and then when really bad things happen, like what happened in North Carolina, what happened just the other day, we're all focused on this instead of, again, coming together and praying for innocent victims. And that's sad, because I don't think those families care why the person was killed. I think they care that their loved one is gone.
Well, from a public policy standpoint, I've got to disagree with my colleague. As a former prosecutor from New York, this is about enhancements. It's about people going to jail if they're convicted, going away longer, if you will. That's super important. And then, secondly, it's a deterrent from a law enforcement policy standpoint, that if you can get enhancements and you can go away longer, the argument is, and the policy is, and we've found that it's been effective with empirical data, that you want to dissuade these types of hate crimes from going forward. Now, that being said, I think there's a media issue here. You know, you're in the media, right? You promote and put on, not you, but you generally, put on what sells, what's great TV. If I'm on any network, right, and there's a heated debate or argument over some controversial issue, they're going to run that more so than if we have a intellectual debate here. Nothing wrong with talking about the race question or the color of the individual. It's the hate crime and the tragedy. But that's television, that's media, that's entertainment. So it's not about the race issue, it's about what media companies are reporting.
Hold on. So, Clarence, what is going on with what's happening in the churches and these crimes and these killings, and what is it that people need to do? Because sometimes they're the best people, because they're there in real time. I mean, that young kid was very courageous in what he did.
Certainly Robert Engel, that Ursher was courageous at 22 years old. He is definitely a hero today. But until this country decides that they want to be real serious about mental health, we're going to continue to see these types of issues. And certainly with some of the money that is thrown away with projects, or, you know, what do they call them, fat pig projects or whatever they call them, it's just crazy when you have from juvenile to our returning veterans from, you know, the wars with mental health problems, and we're not invested in mental health. We're going to continue to see these type problems, and until our community learns how to figure out the indicators of these type of issues, we're going to continue to see this.
You know, I want to thank all, believe it or not, we're out of time.
I got something to add, though.
You're a lawyer. That's expected. But we're out of time. I want to thank all of our guests from the Log Cabin Republicans, from Devon, law enforcement, A. Scott Bolden, Shelby Emmett. But also remember, it should matter less what color the killer or the assassin is. What matters is a human being lost their life unnecessarily, and we should all be outraged, no matter where it happens, when it happens, and how it happens. And we should condemn it at every turn. I'm Armstrong Williams.